Hey everyone, SC Terracon here. Now before the actual video gets started, I like to explain a few things. Now to my older viewers, those who had this in mind, why did it take you so long to make this video? And to that, I actually have a pretty good response. I actually started making this video such a long time ago, but I'd never actually managed to finish it because the concepts that I made originally did not look anything great. After I released the original S.H.Figuarts video, a lot of you guys gave me a bunch of criticism. And it wasn't bad criticism either, it was actually constructive criticism, which I'm actually very thankful for. But of course, once I started making the concepts, I felt like they weren't right. See, I wanted to make your guys' voices feel heard because again, criticism isn't entirely bad. It is something that can help you in many ways. And that's how we ended up here, where it took me a year to make this video happen. And as a way of saying thank you, I'm going to be putting the names of those who helped in the original S.H.Figuarts video on the bottom right, so it's kind of a shout out. But anyways, again, thank you guys for giving me those criticisms. Very helpful, very constructive. Now, let's actually get into the video. So, S.H.Figuarts, who are they and why am I talking about them? You see, S.H.Figuarts is a pretty popular company when it comes to very articulated figures. Of course, there are other companies out there like Amazing Yamaguchi, but you know, S.H.Figuarts is kind of the basic go-to company when you think about, you know, pretty articulated action figures. And now a lot of you are wondering what SHFiguarts makes. They make a bunch of superhero figures, anime figures, and even monster figures. Their lineup is great. And as of recently, they're going to be making a new set of Mario SHFiguarts figures. I'm low-key jealous, but putting that aside, I've always been a huge fan of SHFiguarts. And for a while, there is something that I've really wanted them to do. And that, my friends, is make Sonic the Hedgehog figures. So now that brings the idea. What if SHFiguarts made Sonic the Hedgehog figures? Let's make up a story for that scenario. So, what if Sega and Jakks Pacific are making bank with their Sonic products, but Sega wants to make Sonic a little bit more well known? They want Sonic to be on the level of Mario, so they start searching for other companies who can make more Sonic the Hedgehog products. Eventually, they stumble upon SHFiguarts. They both have a discussion and agree that they will be making Sonic the Hedgehog products, and they begin making concept art for the figures. Now, before I actually show off the new concepts, I want to say something really quickly. The original body template I have for, you know, the original SHFiguarts video will not be reused in here, just for those wondering. You see, the original body template lacked so much stuff that it just looks bad. So I ended up making a new one because, the old one sucked, so here we are now. Just wanted to point that out really quickly. So let's start off with our first Sonic figure, that being Sonic himself. You can already notice the huge improvements I've made with this new figure. For starters, I started testing out new colors and I ended up with this. Where in the original video, I went with lighter colors and it just kind of ruined Sonic's whole look, making him entirely look like the Sonic model from Sonic Forces, which isn't a good thing. I also made his spines much more longer because I was starting to notice why people hate Sonic with short quills, because it just doesn't look great on him. And I also made his body much more taller and slimmer, just like how you guys mentioned in the original video, how you guys would have recommended the 06 kind of body. So I went with that and we ended up with this Sonic design. So hopefully you guys enjoy it and you guys love it. But now let's move on to, I think, the much more bigger improvement, which is Tails. With Tails here, you can already notice the huge difference. There aren't any weird body proportions, he doesn't look weird, and the colors are just right. I gave Tails the same amount of articulation Sonic has because I think keeping him the way I did in the original video would have just made him stiff and probably end up looking horrible when it comes to posing him. I also changed up the way he looks because in the original video he had really small eyes and just a weird, just an overall just weird look. But I'm really glad with how he came out. He looks so much better now that I know how to draw Tails much more properly now compared to how I used to draw him about a year ago. So there's Tails the Fox for you. Now let's move on to probably one of my much more favorite concepts, Knuckles the Echidna. Now with Knuckles, I went for the much more bulkier aspect, and I gave his skin color a much more darker, much more tan appearance, because again, I've just never been a huge fan of Knuckles having this really light skin color. I also made his dreadlocks much more longer compared to the original videos because, you know, in the original videos they're really short, and it just kind of makes him look weird. Also, when designing Knuckles, I reminded myself to make him look sharp, to make him look, you know, stronger than he originally did in my original concept, because in the original concept, he looks like a marshmallow, not gonna lie. And that's Knuckles the Echidna for you guys. Now let's move on to Amy Rose. Now Amy Rose doesn't seem to have too many changes for me, but I think the only, noticeable change is really just her face. For her face, I mostly based it off of the 06 model, but I also slightly based it off of Yui Kawa's art style because for those who know or noticed, most of these concepts were mostly based off Yui Kawa's art style because again, huge fan of his art style, always loved him, and I always love his new drawings. But really, there aren't too many changes here with Amy Rose, which had me a little shocked because I kind of expected some huge, crazy changes. But that, my friends, was Amy Rose, and that is not where the video ends. This is supposed to be somewhat of a part 2, technically a part 1.5, since I kind of went back and redesigned the original video. So now, we're going to be introducing 2 other concept figures that I've made about 2 pretty popular characters, starting off with Shadow the Hedgehog. Now with Shadow, I made him basically just like Sonic, but much more sharper when it comes to look. And for his fur color, I made him like slightly gray, slightly tinted blue because like I've said in like many other videos before, I'm a huge fan of when Shadow is like not entirely gray or black, but slightly tinted blue. I just love that a lot. Again, not too many changes compared to Sonic because, again, they're practically the same. Well, not entirely, but you know what I mean. But I'm thinking Shadow the Hedgehog's concept here might be my favorite out of all of them. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed Shadow's inclusion here. But we're not done because now we're on to the actual final character, that being Rouge. Now, here's what Rouge looks like. Now, you can clearly tell that she has a lot of her curves, a lot of her proportions that you see in SA2. But originally, when designing her, I wasn't going to make her look like this. I was actually going to make her look like the current Rouge model, but I think that would have been a huge mistake for me because the current Rouge model looks really horrible. It lacks a lot of things that make Rouge stand out. Now she's just kind of there. But with the finalized Rouge concept I have here, I made sure to look as reminiscent or as similar to the SA2 model as possible. I also made some slight changes because, again, just wanted to try and test new things out. But that is Rouge's concept design for you guys. And that, I'm pretty sure, is now the end of the video. So, wanted to say thank you guys for watching this video. I know been a while that I've been trying to get this video out, but now, hey, it's finally out. Hope you guys are happy. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Adios.